Hey everyone, it's Rob, and welcome to Starfield Pulse Episode 4. Gonna have like a little bit different of a show. I mean, we're still early days, right? Still figuring out the format, how this is gonna work. We're gonna go ahead and cover the news, and then we're actually gonna have a lore section that I recorded as a video, but I thought it was definitely worth going back over in this episode since you're different audiences, right? And those of you that are listening to this didn't necessarily watch it on YouTube, so it will be new to you, and I guarantee there will be something in there that you'll find interesting because I know I learned a lot putting it together, and I hope you guys enjoy listening to it as much as I did putting it together. But first, let's go ahead and talk about some of the topics that have been in the news lately in regards to Starfield, right? First off, I actually want to talk about something that we know now to be true. I really kind of wondered what exactly would be the reward for completely scanning a planet, right? We knew that it had to be something substantial because scanning an entire planet and figuring everything out, that's a pretty, daunting undertaking. There's going to be a lot of time involved with doing that. I'm sure there'll be some small planets where you just knock it out, but for the most part, it's going to be a pretty involved undertaking. Well, if you finish a scan of a planet, you can sell that information for credits. And that comes from the Starfield Games Twitter account themselves. They went ahead and linked that out. So now we know that we will actually get credits, money. So that will be our reward. So, hey, I don't know about you, but it is definitely better than nothing, which I never thought it would be nothing, but I didn't know what I thought it would be. And now we actually know that it's going to be credits. So that is the major true headline of something that I thought was pretty helpful that everybody wanted to know out there. But let's go ahead and talk about some of these ridiculous headlines that have come across over the last week. So for those of you that don't know, I set a Google alert, right? And every morning at around 8 a.m. my time, I get a list of the headlines of that mention Starfield. And I'm not going to talk about the places where I found these headlines because I don't necessarily want to give those outlets the attention that they're craving. But I do want to talk about some of the ridiculous things they're saying just to point out like the hype for this game, how real it is and how much people want to talk about it even when they don't have anything to say. So the first one is, will Starfield have DLC? Question mark. And we all know the answer to that, right? The answer to will Starfield have DLC is a resounding yes. They've said this everywhere. In fact, those of us that pre-order the game, we get DLC. It's like guaranteed. It's baked in, right? So there is definitely DLC. So this is just like a mind-boggling title. And for those of you who don't know, I spent about 10 years in games media, maybe a little bit less, more like 8, working for different websites, doing columns, making videos, interviews, developer things, a bunch of stuff. And then I spent time on the PR side as well. And what I cannot stand more than anything, I hate clickbait. And as a content creator these days, it's very difficult because people click on it, right? So the allure is there. But oh my God, I don't want to turn this into a conversation about clickbait. But come on, will Starfield have DLC? This is ridiculous, right? So here's another headline that was interesting. After denying PS5 users access, Microsoft is now letting Xbox players play Starfield for $1, a game they reportedly spent $200 million to make. Now that headline is a mouthful. So I kudos to them for not it being an entirely clickbait headline, right? But it's still a crazy headline. But let's go ahead and break that down. Yes, Microsoft made this Bethesda game a console exclusive. So I guess you could say theoretically they are denying it to PlayStation users. And the whole making it available to Xbox users for $1, well, they're making it available to Game Pass subscribers. And they did bring back the $1 to get started Xbox Ultimate Game or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription deal. It's a great value. And oh, by the way, if you weren't aware, you can actually get Game Pass through Microsoft Rewards points. So if you are somebody that is diligent enough that you can spend 5 to 10 minutes per day earning Microsoft Rewards points, you can then convert those rewards points and purchase Game Pass. I have had Game Pass for since it came out. But over the course of the last 2 years, since my friend Nick tipped me off on this, I haven't spent a penny on Game Pass. So every first party Game Pass game I've gotten for free, unless I've decided to go ahead and purchase it, which I did for Halo Infinite because I wanted the Steelbook from Best Buy. And then I think I actually took the game back and just paid the $10 for the Steelbook. So yeah, I really haven't paid any money for first party Xbox games, even though I love and enjoy them because I just do my daily sets and get my Microsoft Rewards points and then convert those over to Game Pass. And in fact, I just spent my last bit of points on, I guess it was Friday, to purchase another 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. So I am purchased up through December. So I'm not, they did have a price increase. It did not affect the amount of points we spent. So I'm good on Game Pass through December. And if you have any questions about it, make sure to let me know because I can walk you through how to do it. And you too can get Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate for free as long as they have it in the Microsoft Rewards catalog. All right, but I digress. Let's get back to the most ridiculous headlines that we've seen over the course of the last week. So a dollar game reportedly spent $200 million to make. Yes, it spent a ton of money to make this. This business is exclusive driven. Sony has them, Microsoft has them, but Microsoft is really pushing for that subscription deal. Even at $17 a month for Game Pass Ultimate, I still think you have some serious value there with all the first party and third party games they have to supplement the first party releases. All right, another crazy headline I've seen over the course of the last week is Starfield Xbox Series S performance leaves fans confused. What's to be confused about it? 30 frames a second at 1440. That's what they've told us. So they're either lying to us or it's going to be 30 frames a second at 1440. Series X, 30 frames a second, 4K. That's where we're at. All right, we're not bringing in PC because it's going to get goofy, but Series S, 1440. Here's another one that I've seen people are been kind of flummoxed about, and that is Starfield Studio Design Director pleads for people to stop asking questions because only Todd Howard himself is authorized to talk. Yes. The studio director is authorized to talk about a game the studio is making. What a surprise, right? But there are other people on the team who are not authorized. And in this case, Emil said that he's under NDA. A lot of them are. This is not shocking. This is not news, but I guess it gives them something to write an article about, and it gives me something to talk about. So, yeah, Emil is on Twitter, and he says a lot, but right now they're not saying anything. This is common practice. We're going to know everything we want to know in about 6 weeks about Starfield. So let's leave these professionals alone. Stop badgering them on social media. They're not going to be able to say anything. And if they do, they could get in trouble, right? And we don't want that to happen. So, mum's the word from these dudes. And he went ahead and said it. Another thing that I think is actually kind of funny, and I've seen some badgering about this back and forth, is that, yes, Todd Howard, yes, Phil Spencer, yes, communications directors for Bethesda Studio, Pete Hines, yes, these guys are playing Starfield on their Xboxes. And in fact, you can look at their Xbox profiles and see that they are playing Starfield. So it's a little bit of a flex by them on you because they, in fact, can put their profiles to private. They can show themselves as offline. They can do a number of things to hide the fact that they're actually playing this game, but they're not. They're help building the hype wagon. They know what they're doing. Don't let them make you think otherwise. They know, in fact, what they are doing, and they're driving hype for the game, and they're kind of low-key flexing that they're playing the game while we are not playing the game. But we will soon. We will soon. All right, so here's a headline that I've seen and I thought was kind of funny and I wanted to share with everybody. Will we have cats and dogs? So Starfield fans are crying out for spaceship cats as concept art resurfaces. And if you go ahead and you take a look at it, you will see that there was some previous concept art out there that did in fact show cats walking on either a space station or a ship or something with people. So people are like, bring the pets. Can we pet the dog? I don't know that there's a dog to be petted. They could all be dead. So could the cats, unfortunately, because so could the earth, right? So could the Earth. But yes, that's a funny thing that's going on in the community right now is people are crying out to have their spaceship cats come back to them so they can pet and cuddle them. Another one out there is a No Man's Sky comparison. And I gonna have to agree with this one. And this one comes from PC Gamer, so I might catch a little bit of flack because I do know that PC Gamer has fallen out of favor with Starfield Reddit. A lot of things have fallen out of favor with Starfield Reddit, to include myself, though. So, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, PC Gamer has been known to be heavily critical of Starfield in these early days. Some of it completely baseless, some of it with merit. So it's a little weird how much Starfield scanning looks exactly like No Man's Sky, right? And to their credit, when I saw the scanning, the first thing I thought of was, this is No Man's Skyrim, because it definitely did look like No Man's Sky, that's scanning. However, there's only so much you can do in the way to make scanning appear. There's also a game, and I'm struggling to remember the name of it off the top of my head. It was from Ubisoft. It was a space exploration game. And if you played it on the Switch as DLC, you could play as Star Fox. And this game involved, it was a Toys to Life game, and it was way past the prime of Toys to Life. But you could play it, and you could have these ships, and you could do all these little things. You could mix and match the weapons on the ships and scan them in. But regardless, I digress. The point is in that you also scan things too, and that was very similar to No Man's Sky. And you know why? Because scanning is scanning, right? And there's not a whole lot you can do to make it look too different. Yes, theirs look very similar, but there's not a whole lot they can do to make it look that much different. And then there's another one out there. Does Starfield have New Game Plus mode? And the answer to that one is I don't know, but do you really need it? Or is it going to be one of those situations where you don't need a New Game Plus because they're going to roll you back, to a save right before where you completed the game, and you'll just continue to go out and play the rest, right? And one last one before I let go of the ridiculous headlines, and not all those ridiculous, kind of circle back though. Someone was complaining, Starfield is shorter than we thought. And then if you dive into the article and see how long, in fact, that Starfield was that they're complaining about, and their chief complaint is that Starfield is only going to be 35 to 40 hours for the main campaign. Now, those of you out there who played Skyrim, which is probably most of you, I really only remember that game being about 20 to 25 hours to critical path through the main campaign, which is kind of what I did. And then I went out and did superfluous side stuff. But the main campaign in that game wasn't very long. So for them to get all hell-bent on Starfield only being 35 to 40 hours, to me, makes it think like they're really just creating a clickbait headline to drum up interest for people to read their website. Now, that's it for the headlines this week. Now I'm going to go ahead and dive into the lore section. This is a little video I created. It was called The Lore Behind the Places. And I think I kind of changed the name to Lore You Should Know, or the 30 Myths and Legends Behind the Places in Starfield. But what it boils down to is that all of these names in Starfield have some kind of tie to real life or mythology, right? So a lot of these stars are really named this, or they've taken the liberty to create stars and planets and name them after real things from our history. And some of them are really refreshing, and they're very diverse from what they've pulled from. They're far-reaching, from a lot of Arabic to Native American to European to modern day US and Russian space race stuff. So it's pretty cool. And let's go ahead and take a listen. We are less than 2 months away from the release of Starfield. Because of that, I thought I'd take a dive into some of the lore behind the names that we'll find throughout our adventure. Most of these are grounded in history here on Earth. Some of it real, some of it fantastical. With that said, let's get to it. Aquila. This name is of Arabic origin and means sharp, piercing, or intelligent. It was the name of a legendary Arab warrior who was said to be able to see in the dark. Al-Battani was an Arab astronomer and mathematician who refined existing values for the length of the year and of the seasons, for the annual precession of the equinoxes, and for the inclination of the ecliptic. He showed that the position of the sun's apogee, or furthest point from the earth, is not fixed, but moves slowly westward along the ecliptic. His principal written work, a compendium of astronomical tables, was translated into Latin in about 1116 and into Spanish in the 13th century. A printed edition under the title De Moto Stellarium, also known as On Stellar Motion, was published in 1537. Al-Battani, whose full name was Abu Abd Allah Muhammad ibn Jabir ibn Sinan al-Raqi al-Harani al-Sabi al-Battani, whose Latinized name was Albatinus, was born before 1858 in Haran, a city southeast of the modern Turkish city of Urfa, which would reside in modern-day Syria. Al-Kiba. This name is of Arabic origin and means the bright one. It was the name of a star in the constellation Scorpius. Alpha Andraste. This name is a combination of the Greek word alpha, which means first, and the name of the constellation Andromeda. It was the name of a spaceship in the science fiction series Babylon 5, and this isn't the only thing we're going to find named after something from Babylon 5. Altair, also known as Alpha Aquila, is one of the brightest stars in the night sky and is located in the constellation Aquila. Its name is derived from Arabic and means the flying eagle. Altair has been observed and studied by astronomers throughout history, and it is also known for its inclusion in the summer asterism known as the Summer Triangle. Bardeen. This name is of Scottish origin and means son of the bard. Bardeen is the last name of John Bardeen, an American physicist and electrical engineer. Bardeen is notable for his co-invention of the transistor, a breakthrough technology that revolutionized the field of electronics. Alongside his colleagues William Shockley and Walter Brattain, Bardeen received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1956 for the invention of the transistor. He later made significant contributions to the field of superconductivity, for which he was awarded a second Nobel Prize in physics in 1972. Buran is Russian for snowstorm or blizzard. It was also the first space plane to be produced as part of the Soviet-Russian Buran program. Buran completed one uncrewed spaceflight in 1988 and was destroyed in the 2002 collapse of its storage hangar. Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is a constellation visible in the northern sky. In Greek mythology, Cassiopeia was the queen of Ethiopia and the mother of Andromeda. The constellation is named after her, and it is known for its distinctive W or M shape. Depending on its position in the sky, Cassiopeia is often visible in the evening sky and has been observed and recognized by astronomers for centuries. Sharbus. This name is of Celtic origin and means shining one. It was the name of a Celtic god of light and healing. There is also a location named Sharbadus in Greek mythology, which was a sea monster or a whirlpool. So maybe on Sharbus, we'll find a sea monster. Deimos. This is one of two natural moons of the planet Mars. It was discovered by an American astronomer, Asaph Hall, in 1877, and is named after the Greek god of terror, Deimos, who is a son of Ares, aka Mars, and Aphrodite. Ecliptic. The term ecliptic refers to the apparent path that the sun traces across the sky throughout the year as it is seen from Earth. It represents the plane of Earth's orbit around the sun. The ecliptic has historical significance in astronomy and celestial coordinate systems as a reference for locating celestial objects. Enlil. This was a major deity in ancient Mesopotamian mythology, particularly in Sumerian and Akkadian cultures. He was considered the god of wind, storms, and agriculture, and was often associated with kingship and the ordering of the cosmos. Freya is a prominent goddess in Norse mythology. She is associated with love, beauty, fertility, war, and magic. Freya played a significant role in Norse mythology and was revered as a powerful and influential deity. Groombridge. Groombridge refers to the Groombridge star catalog, which was compiled by Stephen Groombridge in the early 19th century. The catalog contains information about stars and their positions in the sky, and has a magnitude of 6.4. Io's name is of Greek origin and means violet. It is one of the 4 largest moons of Jupiter and the innermost. It was discovered by Galileo Galilei in 1610 during his observations of Jupiter's system of moons. Io is notable for its intense volcanic activity with numerous active volcanoes on its surface. Its study has provided valuable insights into the geology and dynamics of planetary bodies. Jemison refers to Mae Jemison. Mae Jemison was born on October 17, 1956 in Decatur, Alabama. Mae Jemison was the first African-American woman in space. She's an engineer, physician, and former NASA astronaut. She was the first African-American woman to travel in space when she served as a mission specialist aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour in 1992. Jemison was inspired to pursue a career in space at an early age, after watching the launch of Apollo 11 on television. She attended Stanford University, where she earned a degree in chemical engineering. She then went on to earn a medical degree from Cornell University. After completing her medical training, Jemison worked as a general practitioner in California. She also founded a company that developed science education programs for children. In 1987, Jemison was selected by NASA to be an astronaut. She trained for 2 years before being assigned to the Space Shuttle Endeavour's STS-47 mission. Jemison's mission lasted for 8 days, during which she conducted experiments in life sciences, material science, and technology. After her spaceflight, Jemison continued to work at NASA as a consultant and public affairs officer. She also founded the Jemison Institute for Women in Technology and Science, which promotes the participation of women in STEM fields. Jemison is a strong advocate for science education, and she has written several books for children about science and space exploration. Crete. This name is of Native American origin and means one who is wise. It was the name of a Native American chief who was known for his wisdom and leadership. Kumasi is a city in Ghana, located in the Ashanti region. It is historically significant as the capital of the Ashanti Kingdom, a powerful and influential West African empire. Luna. This is the Latin word we use for our moon. It has historical significance in the context of space exploration and scientific study of Earth's natural satellite. Luna is often used poetically or in scientific context in reference to the Earth's moon. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun in our solar system. It has historical significance due to its visibility in the night sky and its association with the ancient Roman god of war, also named Mars. Mars has been the subject of scientific study and exploration, particularly in search of evidence for past or present life on a planet outside of Earth. Mercury is the innermost planet in our solar system, named after the Roman god Mercury, who served as the messenger of the gods. Mercury's historical significance lies in its visibility and close proximity to the Sun. It has been observed and studied by astronomers throughout history and played a role in our understanding of planetary dynamics and celestial mechanics. Montera Luna. This name is a combination of the Spanish word Montera, which means mountain, and the Latin word Luna, which means moon. It is the name of a mountain on the moon. Nevis. This name is of Native American origin and means great spirit. It has the name of a Native American deity. Nemeria. This name is of Latin origin and means of the sea. It was the name of a Roman goddess of the sea. Nisoi. In Greek mythology, Nisoi refers to the nymphs who were associated with the islands. They were believed to be the daughters of Nereus, the sea god, and Doris, an Oceanid. Each nymph was believed to preside over a specific island. Nera. This name is of Japanese origin and means firefly. It is the name of a constellation in Japanese mythology. Nirvana. This is a term used in Buddhism to describe a state of liberation from suffering and the cycle of rebirth. It signifies the highest goal in Buddhist philosophy, representing enlightenment and transcendence. Pluto. This name is of Roman origin and means underworld. Pluto is a dwarf planet in our solar system, located in the Kuiper Belt beyond Neptune. It was discovered by astronomer Clyde Tombaugh in 1930, but was later reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006 by the International Astronomical Union, the IAU. Pluto's historical significance lies in its discovery, subsequent controversy over its planetary status, and the reevaluation of our understanding of the solar system. In Starfield, it does show as a planet on the star charts, so evidently, sometime in the future, Pluto will be reclassified again. Porrima is a traditional name of a binary star system in the constellation Virgo. It is notable for being one of the closest binary systems to our solar system. The name is of Roman origin and means she who brings forth. It is the name of a minor planet that was discovered in 1854. Rosselhig is the traditional name of a star in the constellation Ophiuchus. It is a bright star and has historical significance as a navigational reference point in the night sky. Sumati is a Sanskrit name that means good mind or wise. Sirma is a name of Greek origin and means nymph. In particular, it is the name of a nymph who was associated with the moon Luna. Sirma is a traditional name of a star in the constellation Virgo. It is also known as Iota Virginis and is notable for being one of the brighter stars in the constellation. Tadaka. This name is of Native American origin and means warrior. It was the name of a Native American chief who was known for his bravery and skill in battle. Vectera. This name is of Greek origin and means charioteer. It's the name of a god in Greek mythology who is the charioteer of the sun god Helios, Vern. This name is of French origin and means spring. It's also the name of French writer Jules Verne, who is famous for his science fiction and adventure novels including 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Center of the Earth. Verne is often considered one of the pioneers of science fiction literature. Voli Alpha. The name Voli is associated with the Ojibwa people, who are a Native American tribe that was found in the Great Lakes region of the United States and Canada. Voli means peace. It's also a unisex name that can be used for both boys and girls. The name Voli is derived from the word Wawiwin, which means peace or harmony. Washakie was a prominent leader and chief of the Eastern Shoshone Native American tribe. He played a significant role in the history of the American West, which means peace. And because this is live, I'm capable of doing pivots, right? Okay, and so I want to take a look at something here. I don't know why my camera's not showing up, but all right. So this says Slayton Security, and that's the first time I've registered with the name Slayton. So I'm gonna have to look that up and find out what that is. But also, if we see here, it appears like, we can steal, because it says steal. Maelstrom, 79%. I think that's their weapon. Like, we can steal their weapon from them. That's really kind of crazy. And this CQB 10. And so CQ sometimes is close quarters. I don't know what necessarily the B is for, but this is something I'm going to have to do a little bit more digging into. It's pretty cool. 89% chance to steal the CQBX and a 79% chance to steal the Maelstrom, and an 82% chance to steal 46.5 millimeter CT, which I'm assuming are rounds. So we can steal this security guard's weapons off him. Can't steal his armor off him, though. Kind of makes sense. But all right, let's get back to the video there. Peace or harmony. Washakie was a prominent leader and chief of the Eastern Shoshone Native American tribe. He played a significant role in the history of the American West, particularly in the 19th century. And last but certainly not least, we have Zamka, which is in reference to George David Zambo Zamka, a former NASA astronaut and United States Marine Corps pilot with over 3,500 flight hours and more than 30 different aircraft. Zambo piloted the Space Shuttle Discovery in its October 2007 mission to the International Space Station and served as the commander of mission STS-130 in February of 2010. This guy was a colonel when I was still in the Marine Corps. Actually, remember when he was part of NASA. So there we have it, folks. All right, everybody, and that is it for the lore you should know section. That was pre-recorded. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. I know that I definitely learned a little bit putting that together, and now I actually have another name to go look up because we see that these security guys are Slayton. So it's, to my understanding, Slayton is not the name of a known faction. So I'm going to go do some digging, see what I can turn up on Slayton, and maybe I'll have an answer for you next week, or maybe even later on this week on Thursday when we get back together for our live streams. Anyways, I'm Rob. Thanks for watching. This was Starfield Pulse Episode 4. Remember that you can catch me live every Monday night between 8 and 9 Central Standard Time in the U.S. And you can always listen to us recorded later on your favorite podcast services, as long as your favorite podcast service is Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Also, remember that if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment. Let us know what you do or do not like. And if you're watching this, again, like I said, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, to make sure to rate it and leave a little comment so other people can find this and get hyped for Starfield. And that's it. Thanks. I appreciate everybody listening, watching, and for all the great feedback.